How's it going today? We're going to review some stocks and everything. We're going to get right into it. I picked a year ago. I know I've been not doing these in a while. I've been having a hard time uploading these things. I don't know, Google just like deletes them or I upload them. I got a new phone and it's been kind of hard. Hopefully I got a lot of these videos coming out. I think it's December 10th today. It's the Friday that all these numbers are coming from, I guess. And we're going to jump right into it. A year ago in December of 2019, seems like it's crazy. I watched that and how different the market was. I mean, it rapidly changed over the last couple of years, or over the last really 6-7 months, all this pandemics. I mean, so that's why I always say don't put your money, if you need it in 3 years, don't put it in there at all, because God only knows, especially with my strategies, kind of long-term holdings, so essentially I like to hold it and then maybe, add a little bit, take some out. I can make a video of how to do that. I know the stocks have ran up on, and my philosophy when to sell a stock, I think it's, but anyway, we're going to get right into it. I hate to go too long on these videos. I just like to do a quick run through. Anyway, the S&P was up only 6%. I only say only, but you get some of these returns that I have on here. 6%, 16% doesn't seem like a whole lot. But anyway, I picked Facebook, HubSpot, Nvidia, and American Tower. And Facebook was actually up pretty much for the most part. I mean, up 37%. Was that almost doubled the market? So all these stocks have killed it over the last couple months, or the last couple months. I mean, Facebook was almost kind of even with the market, then it exploded over the last couple months. And there's some antitrust, which Facebook is one of these companies. I don't believe you should have a large position in your company. I believe everybody should own probably Facebook, Amazon, and Google, and maybe Apple in their portfolio, but maybe like 5% of their portfolio. If you're looking for a growth company, because I think there's some growth, but I think there's smaller companies out there. And that's what I kind of look for. I look for these smaller companies. Because if Facebook doubled, it'd be $1 trillion some odd dollar company. So maybe it takes a little bit back, so I can understand why you don't want to add Facebook. But it is a good company for the most part, with some antitrust coming out. I don't know. Sorry. If they start breaking up Facebook, it may not be as good as it is, because I really like the Facebook and Instagram type thing. WhatsApp is unprofitable, and it's okay. And I've never used WhatsApp at all. I don't think most people do anyway. But Instagram is really, really popular. Instagram is almost competing with Pinterest with a lot of photos and stuff like that. Completely different, but but anyway, HubSpot is the other one. HubSpot helps this digital advertisement, and that's kind of the theme, digitalization. Moving forward, HubSpot went up 157%. I mean, a massive gain. I mean, that is like what you kind of dream of. 1 year up 175%. But actually, that is not actually the best. The best one's actually the next one is extremely, and it's like, wow, But anyway, HubSpot, I go leave a link down the video. I hate to go on about them. Anyway, the next one is Nvidia, what I used to call it Mad Dog, because Nvidia is one of the long-term holdings of mine. Actually, it's the best stock that I made the most money off of. Back in 2015, I picked it. I bought it at $20. It was like $22 a share. It's like, I think it was late 2015, and this thing has just killed it. I mean, this thing is like almost life-changing. I mean, especially almost double. I mean, I was at 300 thinking, man, this is about as good as it gets. But then it was 500 now, so it's 140% gain. And this is basically like the old saying, the winners keep winning. The good companies, they just keep doing good. And Nvidia is definitely an example of that. And that's why I hate when people say, sell your winners. Like, no, do not sell your winners. Because you would have sold HubSpot and Nvidia. Especially because you would have sold it back when it was, at 20, it went to 100, then what, you're selling it then? I mean, then it went up another 5 times. So it's like, you sell your winners, like, why? Why would you sell your winners? I mean, this thing is just, I never understood that philosophy. They cut I just don't get that. I think it's fear, because it's like the stock can't go up any higher. And in some cases, that's true. Like, obviously, if it's bubble, and I don't believe in over allocation of your stock, maybe sell some a little bit, but still own it. If Nvidia is like, and actually I did sell, but it was at 20% of my portfolio. So just portfolio allocation type thing. What I only want maybe 5-10%. And the same things happen with the trade desk. I mean, that thing's went up quite a bit, and it's sitting at like almost 12-15% of my portfolio. And I haven't sold it, and it just keeps going. I mean, hell, because I was thinking about selling it at 700, but now it's like at 900. But anyway, so that's an American Tower. This one's been kind of a lagger. Actually, probably one of my worst stocks on this channel. Actually, it doesn't even beat the market. Only up 2%. I mean, that is pretty bad. I don't really, I thought 5G be a little bit bigger than it is, but I believe that's a long-term hold, and I always hold them for 3 years, at least. But anyway, an average of 83% collectively of other stocks, and S&P is only up 16. Which I say only up 16 because I remember getting 16%, years ago. That was it still is a pretty good gain because that doubles your money every, 4 years. So, I mean, that's a pretty good gain for the S&P, but up 83% over the year for these free stocks. Now, moving on to November. Now, this one has my best performing stock probably on this channel, and I picked it just right. I guess the S&P's up 20%, and the free stocks is Skyworks, Etsy, and PayPal. The Skyworks solution, 5G play, up 36%. So leading the market, actually plays a good dividend too. But I still believe Skyworks Solutions is a big 5G, and I think 5G like I said, I made a video with the 5G videos. I say, you know what, 5G is probably over the next 5 years, rolling out slowly at first, but I think it'll accelerate to the point where it's going to be big. I think 5G is going to be big. Everybody knows it. And I think Skyworks Solution will be the leader in that. So eventually it'll get there. And now the next one is the best performing stock probably on all these ones. And it was kind of a shocker. It's Etsy, up 331% in just 1 year. 1 year up over 4 times in value. I picked it at 40, and now it's 160, 170. I mean, this thing has just berserked. I mean this thing, but it was undervalued at the time on discounted cash flows and stuff like that. So, and that's why I kind of said it was kind of fair value. I said it's time to buy Etsy because it's such a small company that these things, that's how you get to 10x's. You know what I mean? The ones that go up when you hit. Normally, majority of my 10x's are around the 5 billion to about 15 billion. That's usually where the 10x's kind of happen, is buying it at like 5 billion and it goes to 50, $100 billion company, or around that mark. And that's usually where I get these big monster gains. I mean, that really kind of change things. I mean, hell, you get one of those in your portfolio up, 4 times. I mean, it's up 5% of your portfolio. That turned, let's say, $1,000. Up 4 times, you made over $4,000. I mean, that's 40% of your gains coming from just one of the stocks. If you have 10 stocks with $1,000 in them, even if every single other one just conformed at the market, you're up. you almost doubled your money. You know what I mean? But anyway, and especially if you portfolio allocation. But anyway, now the next one is PayPal, up 100%, 104%. So a massive winner there. Also with PayPal, it's kind of one of these weird companies where it's such a big company to double over that short term of time. It's just like Nvidia. Normally, and for some reason, but the trend that both of those stocks had that I look at, and I don't know what I call it, but basically I see a growing company that's keep growing. Their sales keep going up and earnings keep going up, but the stock price is basically flat for some time. Think of Tesla. That's what happened to Tesla. I didn't think the company wasn't growing that well, and it had some problems, so I'm not a big fan of Tesla. I think it's ran up a lot, but Tesla did the same thing. It kept growing a little bit, and the stock price was flat. Think of Amazon over the last couple years. It's been flat. Salesforce, same way. If it's growing and it's flat for years, like Square, I mean, it hit, I think in 2017, it hit 80, and it just stayed there all the way up to about almost 3 years. And then that thing just went poof, and now it went from like 80 or 70 to like 200 something. And that's kind of how I look at these, but an average of 151%. So that's versus the market 20%. That's an average of almost 4 times more than the market, or 4 or 5. Well, I mean, hell, I can't even do the math. It's like 7 times return on average over the market over 1 year. I mean, this has been a good year for stocks. Well, I mean, for the most part, I mean, all things considered, it started out pretty bad, but I think it eventually turned the curve with it and everything like that. And yeah, so that's kind of what I look at with those, especially those ones that just been sitting there flat like that. You get into those, you're going to have a big return. And Activision's kind of like that now too. Well, it hasn't really had the growth, but Nvidia was kind of like that when it kept growing. And man, when them things, if they just go, they can fly up. Dude, that's how you can easily double your money or triple your money. And Skyworks Solutions kind of doing that same thing where it just sits there for a while and it keeps growing. It'll eventually just explode higher. But anyway, that's why you always have to give it time. And it might take a couple years. Like Square, I was recommending that back in, 2000. Bought it in 2018, and it kind of peaked at 100, and it sat there for a while. And I was recommending it again and again and again. I kept saying that this thing's going to explode higher because it keeps growing, and eventually the Wall Street or whomever is going to notice that. And it's almost like a fashion show, it'd be in and out. Eventually it'll hit a point where it may not correct, but it may not come down, but it might just sit there again and then explode even higher. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. With that, make sure you like and subscribe. I make more videos. And all these stocks that I review, I still recommend. I'm not selling any of these. I don't think. I think Facebook. I can make a video on how I'm selling the big tech and how I'm viewing it anymore. But anyway, thank you for watching, and see you on the next show or whatever. And hopefully I can upload this video. Hopefully in a couple days, or at least I'll probably go home and upload it, and hopefully it can come out, because sometimes it takes forever to come out, and I don't know why. It uploads and then it stops. But anyway, hopefully I can keep you guys posted on it, and thank you for watching. Thank you.